Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I got quite a few things to show you today, so let's just get into this. And OBS is going to take a second to catch up. There we go. Okay, you can see the hand is in a cool location. So the digging actually works properly now. And then when we collect some items, you can see that there's another digging animation. And you might have also caught that now you actually collect items. So I got the basics of the system implemented. Here's the ortholinear generation. So an important thing to note here is that these are real inventory slots and these are not, because I'm going to manually implement them. Then I should be able to make an API out of it, we'll see. So you can see that now the player is ortholinear in the inventory, which will allow me to do some fun stuff with it. Also, if you hover over an inventory slot, the item will rotate. So I think that's pretty nifty. And you can see that it looks like you're actually selecting something. So it's pretty nifty. Yeah, let's just kind of go over here, mine some water. And you can press R to reset your inventory right now. Also, it doesn't exactly work the way it's supposed to yet. I mean, your inventory can just keep filling up, and even though there's no room for anything. But, you know, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. So I think this is pretty nifty. I was trying to make the items actually rotate on like the actual 2D axis, like if it was rotating on the point, but I actually think this looks better like this. This is a happy little accident that happened. You can see how this is rotating at an angle, but the player is rotating like this, so I was trying to rotate it like, kind of like what the player is doing, but you know, looks better like that. So, once I get the inventory system working, I can make everything else work. Right now, and this will take a second, right now there's a small problem. You can probably already see that by the size of the inventory. But if we press, the hotbar, if we press the inventory button, yeah, this needs to be scaled. What I'm going to do is get the smaller part of the screen. If that's the height or the width, doesn't matter, and basically take the smaller part and scale the inventory down. And the mouse precision will scale with it. Also, that's another thing I forgot to mention. This is pixel perfect collision detection with the mouse. Because basically I have a 2D ortholinear rendering system, and I think I've talked about this in previous videos. If I actually have the screen coordinates and the positional arrangements of the size of the slots itself, I can actually run the same math against where your cursor is using the exact logic that the rendering engine is utilizing, and basically do some really fast calculations against it. So this is pretty nifty. No crafting yet. That's going to come in a little while. I'm still thinking about how to implement the crafting system. There's going to be fast ways and slow ways to do it. I was thinking about using an octree, but that might not be too fast. Kind of like right here. So if you put something over here, oh yeah, I'm going to make it so you can drag items too. I think that's going to be a really fun touch, because I remember back in the day Minetest used to have to click it like this, but what I can do is just use the ortholinear rendering system and just make it so this follows the mouse, basically. But anyways, so I was gonna make it so if you put it in one slot, it'll check against certain recipes that have that in the slot using switch statements. But I don't know if I can make that work. I might just have to check against all recipes using a 2D table thing. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. You know, might be a little difficult, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. It's much easier that I have direct access into the actual systems, and I can actually create a system that not only I can understand, but I mean, you know, I'm not that smart. If I can understand it, and I show you guys how to do it, then you guys will probably be able to do like insane stuff with it. So, yeah, instead of doing the one-dimensional system that I assume Minetest uses, at least the Lua API uses, from my experience when I was trying to create the too many items clone thing. Basically the same speed to match against all recipes with the two-dimensional vector array table, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna remove these for now just to clean this system up, because I'm going to take away the fake slots and actually render out the real slots, basically, just so I could have actual calculations of what's going on in the system. And yeah, just kind of a lot of tech talk right now, but just know that crafting's coming pretty soon. I'm just gonna finish the rendering. I mean, not the rendering system. I gotta finish the inventory system, because you can't really craft anything if you cannot collect anything. You know what I'm saying? That's probably a very important aspect of being able to make stuff, is being able to actually have an inventory to hold stuff. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to actually do like a combination of Minecraft, and Crafter for Minetest engine. For the inventory size, I'm going to do 128 instead of 64, or 1000, or 99, because I think it's a nice balance. 128 is not too much to the point where you're just like, wow, this is boring. And it's not to the point where you're like, I literally have no inventory room at all. So that should be really easy to implement. So we'll see how that goes. Also, with the ortholinear system, I can actually make it so you can have hover over tooltips. Not sure which order I'm going to be doing those parts in, where it shows the number, then it shows the name of it, and all that good stuff. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. But definitely want to do this thing I remember from Minecraft beta. When you collected an item, it would do this little like animation thing where it would get wide, and it would be like a bouncy animation. I'm not sure if they still have that in the engine, but I definitely want to put it in mine, because I used to love that. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about the animation, and also the water's translucent while I'm holding it. That's kind of cool, actually. I've got to work on a system to implement like tools and items, because if anybody played Minecraft Alpha and Beta, you remember that the items used to just be 2D. And that's because I'm not sure if they didn't know how to do the 3D style back in the day, or if it was just development or whatever. But I mean, I could put in the 2D style, like sprite items, but I really want to just go right off the bat, right out of the gates with 3D items. And I actually thought about this for a very long time. fact, since I ever started, when I started the project, I was thinking about this, and I realized that my chunk system that I'm using can be re-implemented into a system to implement this, basically. What I mean by that is I can build the mesh. Here, let me just do this. Oh no. MS Paint's coming out again. Okay, let's go simple with this. Okay, there you go. Now let's say we have our tool right here, and this is the most beautiful tool ever. Okay. So what's going to happen when this builds is it's going to run through everything. And so we're going to use the chunk building system, right? So we could have all of these be faces, but we're going to remove this. And this isn't going too well because this eraser's tiny. Kind of like that. Then we'll pretend I deleted that one all the way. Then we'll delete this. Then we'll delete that, and that, and that. And so now we have these faces, right? We're going to create an extrusion based on the texture. But now we have these faces here that are facing inwards towards each other with the same extrusion level, so you can't see those. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove them. And you're not going to be able to see that. But your GPU definitely will be able to see that there's no faces in between these two meshes when your frame rate tanks if I wouldn't implement this style. But you can see how this went from this this monstrous extrusion mess to just having a simplex of faces. So hopefully that explains more. So basically this is a face, that's 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 a face, etc., etc. Right here in this section with the handle, you cannot optimize that. The only optimizations you can make to that is backface culling. That's already enabled in the game. There's not much more you can do with that, but this is the most optimized that I could possibly get it. And especially you have like 1,000 apples on the ground, like a bunch of gold bars or a bunch of diamonds, you would definitely notice a performance decrease. Despite the fact that this face right here, I mean, let's pretend that's a full-size face and all that, but this face right here would actually add in 2 more faces per rendering call. And now multiply that by 1, 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8 faces, right? So we have 1,000 items on the ground, so that's 8,000 more faces that need to be rendered. So that's definitely, wait, hang on. Yeah, I did my math right, okay. My brain has turned off after doing all the ortholinear calculations. So, we'll just do a little bit more. And I'm going to check out for the day. And I noticed that NVIDIA doesn't like to play with OpenGL. I don't get it. Also, I did a reset for the wield. You can see that this isn't reset, but that's one of the things I'm going to implement later, is when you collect an item, it's going to reset your wield hand. And so, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. But I think that's actually all I got to show you guys right now. So I will definitely see you in the next video, and peace out.